Good afternoon, Team Beast, and for those of you joining us for the very first time, thank you for clicking on Beast Capacity Outdoors. I'm your leader of Team Beast, Daddy Beast, and this is my very first time I got to use my stabilizer and new release. Today's episode brought to you by High Tech Archery, your one-stop ultimate archery pro shop. Located at 1912 West Commonwealth Avenue in the city of Fullerton, California. If you're not located in Southern California or in the county of Orange, you can hop online and check them out at htarchery.com. Okay, so finally, after a few days of the backyard being torn up, Friday came around and we hopped down to our local pro shop and archery range at High Tech and got to throw my new stabilizer on, the fivics 1500 unaffected Win D with the 12 ounces on the front and the new weights for the rear stabilizer, the rear cartel stabilizer, which ended up like 5.58 ounces or 6.68 ounces, something like that. And of course I'm using the new spot hogg wipper snapper. So yeah, it's a little wobbly. I'm getting used to it. I had stuck my sight out at all the way as far as I can go. Of course, someone had to retorque tune, of course. But figured I'd start everything out at the basis right there, just for the stabilizer and all that. It does take a little while to settle down, as you can see. After I've come to full draw, that could be the age of the bow. It's a 2006 PSE Nova. And that's because when I do draw my bow and do the set and anchor and all that, I do have my grip hand open, and then as my hand relaxes and closes around it, it does kind of settle down. Yes, I am still a little wobbly, as you can see. You got to remember, this is the first day with the new weight. It did add a little bit of weight to the bow. I mean, it added at least a pound to my bow, because let's see, well, 12 ounces on the front, 5 plus on the back, so yeah, a little over a pound, about 1.3, 1.4 pounds on the front, or on the bow total. So it is a little bit heavier, so I got to get used to that weight still. I was able to hold on the center spot a lot better. And of course, as you see, and others have commented when I was there, my anchor looks good, and my release is looking good. Of course, I attribute that a little bit to the fact that it is a thumb release. Having to retorque tune. But instead of going all the way up, I'm 3 in. I've closed it up. So I'll go into 4 dots in, then I'll go back out to 2 out to see where the torque tuning is at. But I gotta move that back part in there. Yeah, what I was talking about there was as you can see, my sight rail is now in closer to me, so that meant my optic was closer to my eye. Eliminating some of the just natural torque from my wrist and hand, the way it sits on the bow. Swaying that arrow left or right. But once I did move it in, I moved it into 3 dots in, because there's, on top of the Alcon sight post, there is dots. It's not so much numbered like some, like the fivics or the Sherlocks and stuff like that, but there's indented dots on the sight rail, and I had it on number 1, which was all the way out, and then I put it out to the 3, which closed my group in a lot with the new everything going on. I did move my back bar in, or not in, I left it at that same 30-degree cant, but I brought it a little more vertical, which kicked it out a little too much on me, kicked it a little too much to the left, causing way too much left lean and putting my counter lean, the countermanding torque, just a little way out, and so I ended up bringing the rear stabilizer in more towards the bow, and so it wasn't as pronounced out like a recurve's V-bars are. So I did, after this, bring that the back bar in, and it brought that the left lean that I use to counter torque on my bubble, so I have a little bit of pressure on the riser to bring the bubble to level, because I have a natural right cant in my muscle memory still from coming from traditional and shooting longbow. So adjusting the back bar and all that, and how just that alone kind of corrected a thing. And I poked my optic right there, so now I got a little tiny extra dot on my on the glass of my optic on the lower right side, which doesn't affect anything, but I couldn't believe I actually poked it with the point of my arrow. But as the last two ends that I did on camera, I actually did a little bit more. I did only about an hour and a half at the range, and it was a little busy when we first got there, and so I didn't put the camera up right away, and then it slowed down a bit, so I put the camera up. As you can see, it's pretty empty here, and then it got busy again, so I shut the camera off, put it away, and finished up a couple more ends before I went home. But the last couple ends that you see here on film, the stabilizer and bow started settling down a little bit more, and I think that might have been due to the fact that I brought the balance a little bit more back in with bringing the rear stabilizer bar in a little bit more to the bow, and the angle at which I had it with the weight on the back and on the weight on the front, it's still a little wobbly. I'm still getting used to the weight, but it definitely, my shots started getting better. I didn't finish the day until I actually got one in the 10 ring, one in the X, and then once I got that end, I was finished for the day, packed it up, and we went home. Figure ended on a great note. It was the last arrow shot and the very first X ring that I scored for the day. So I was like, good, I'm happy. End on that, go home, and rest on it. Now, I was going to shoot a little bit more today in the backyard, but my shoulder's a little messed up, my elbow's a little messed up. I slept on it wrong or something like that. But anyhow, as always, like, comment, subscribe below, hit that bell. It lets you know whenever I post a new video. Well, it's been a little slow lately, but hey, things have gotten busy, things have gotten hectic, and backyard's gotten torn up, so I'm not posting as much. I've got another Weigh-In Wednesday video I gotta catch up on and do, so I might do that today. Maybe some resin casting. I'm gonna be making some buttons here and pins. But anyhow, check out all my buddies, Jimmy Ellis, Primal Archery, Sinist Archery, and all those boys. And here on YouTube, Archery Enthusiasts as well, and of course World Archery for all your World Archery tournaments. So as always, be good, be kind, Team Beast, all the way.